How much did I charge? Oh yeah, $10. You got change for a 20?
Oh, I only got $6.12.
Oh, well, that's okay. Here, just give me the $6, and then I'll give you the 20.
Okay.
Now, give me the pubes, and I'll give you back $2.
Right.
Now, give me the 12 cents, and I'll give you the rest of your change back. And then give me the 20, and I'll give you the pubes.
Sweet. God damn!
Like I said, that's the new intro every time we do a video about TKO and WWE. So it's just, this is a reaction video, might as well. So obviously CJAX ain't going so hard on this video because, you know, he seems impressed and he has faith in WrestlePalooza. Let's listen.
I respect you, I love you, I need you, you know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Smackdown review. This one is probably going to be fairly quick because number one, WrestlePalooza is tomorrow. Number two, nothing happened on this show as per usual, okay? There were like a couple things that I think were meaningful. You can tell that this week they made a clear effort to not have a 0 out of 10 product, and this episode was probably like a low, like single digit number, but it wasn't a 0 out of 10, you know what I'm saying? There's at least certain things that I can be like, wow, you know, they gave some effort there, that was decent, or that was a step up from the absolute garbage we've been getting. But like I always say, it's hard to go down from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? You can't fall off the ground. It's impossible. You get what I mean? So when you've been having a bunch of 0 and 1 out of 10 shows, you know what I'm saying? You basically have a spot where you're now having to just be, grateful that you get a 2 or a 3 out of 10 show. And that's probably the range that this show was in if we're being realistic about it. With WrestlePalooza happening tomorrow, I want you guys to get excited. You know what I'm saying? I want you guys to be happy about what's coming your way. Because I do have a feeling that with WWE's backs against the wall, the first WWE pay-per-view that they've had to actually like pay over $20 to $30 for in many years at this point, I actually am expecting at least a decent or noteworthy show tomorrow. That probably means more classic cheap pop shock factor booking from Triple Fudda, the gamer. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? That's not the point. The point is this. We actually have a possibility tomorrow to get a decent show, in my opinion. The amount of press and publicity they've had. I mean, Triple H is out there in Indiana doing the Pat McAfee show and doing ESPN First Take in New York or wherever it is, rather than actually booking the shows on SmackDown and Raw. So I am assuming that they are confident in the fact that WrestlePalooza will be a big hit, or at least a hit in general. Anything would be a step up, like I said, from a 0 or a 1 out of 10 content, which is what we've been getting on PLEs and shows week to week, pretty much consistently all year. So there you have that. With that being said, let's get into the SmackDown review. We'll wrap it up and we'll get into WrestlePalooza.
Well, the only thing that's going to probably be average and decent is going to be these two matches you see in front of the screen. And that's Io Sky versus Steffi Vakir in the mixed tag team match. Now, I do believe that the mixed tag team match will main event while the women's just be in the middle. But however, that's the only two matches I'm looking forward to. And I will find a way to watch those matches on live stream. And when I do, I will let y'all know. But other than that, I'm going all out tomorrow. All right? We're going all out. And when this video comes out, it will be on that particular day. So today we're going all out because of AEW. All right? Y'all can watch WrestlePalooza all you want, but I would recommend if you watch it for free, rather you watch it with a friend, watch it with a family member, or watch it at a bar, or watch it in the movie theater, because they said it's gonna be one in the movie theaters. I think it's AMC, so you can go watch it there. But other than that, at home, I will be watching All Out. So, because I'm going all out. So you'll catch me on live stream, and I will be going crazy for that. But and in the middle of the video, we'll talk more about it, because I have talked about it in my last video. But we'll go ahead and focus on this video. So let's continue.
Now, we started off with Brock Lesnar doing an ambush. He's scheduled to have an interview segment with Michael Cole, and Michael Cole actually gets picked up by Lesnar and thrown into the ring. Brock Lesnar doesn't even let him ask a question, which I thought was funny. I like this because this is classic Brock Lesnar that I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brock Lesnar just comes out there and beats people up and just looks like a beast while doing it. It looks epic. It looks sick. You know what I mean? And then Paul Heyman's usually his mouthpiece, which we'll talk about Paul Heyman in a second. You know what I'm saying? Paulington Heyman. Brock Lesnar goes out there. Brock Broccoli Lesnar ambushes Paul Heyman. He stands over him. Corey Graves then goes out and tries to, stop Brock Lesnar from beating up Michael Cole. And Brock Lesnar decides to F5 Corey Graves. Corey Graves sells it great. I think this is writing him off TV so that Wade Barrett can come back to commentary with good old Joe T. You know what I'm saying? Joseph Tessitore. Now you have that situation. Lesnar F5s Corey Graves, goes outside the ring, throws the prime bottles, throws the steel steps. He's super upset. Then after that, he gets back in the ring and talks to the camera, and he says, John Cena, I'm coming for blood. So you guys remember the Extreme Rules match from 2012 with these two? You know what I mean? Great match, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go back and check it out, okay? That match was really good. You know what I'm saying? There was blood between both of them. It was an actual real-looking brawl with good fighting and solid in-ring storytelling, okay? I think they're going to bring back shades of that for tomorrow's match, and Brock Lesnar telling the camera, Cena, I'm coming for blood. I think that's what this is alluding to. He then F5s Corey Graves again and walks off. That's basically it. Then we get backstage. Paulington Heyman is standing there with Braun Breaker and LeBrunson Reed, and they're basically, but Brock Lesnar goes up to Heyman and says, hey, Heyman, we should talk. Now, remember, the last time we saw Broccoli Lesnar and Paulington Heyman was, I think, around the time of SummerSlam 2022 when he lost to Roman Reigns in the last man standing match at SummerSlam. Another banger match. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, okay? Now, after that, randomly 3 years later, all of a sudden he's cool to have a talk inside with Paul Heyman? It makes no sense when you think about it. You get what I mean? Brock Lesnar should not be actually trying to have a conversation with this guy. But I guess because it's Brock Lesnar's first time back, he's trying to get an upper hand, and Paul Heyman's character is a snake, so maybe he sides with Lesnar, and Lesnar will eventually topple the, the Vision, and then Heyman will turn from the Vision and go side with Lesnar, and Lesnar may win the world title from Seth Rollins. That is a possibility that can happen. I'd be down for that if I'm being honest with you. I mean, Brock Lesnar and Heyman with Lesnar with the world title, that's a much better outlook for Raw than having the Vision group, which again makes no sense. They haven't been seen together in weeks. Seth Rollins is much better off without Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker and LeBron James Jr. and Bronny James and Bryce James. And also, you have Paul Heyman as well. He's better off without all those people. Just have him with his wife and hang out with her, for a few months or something. This Vision faction is stupid. It makes no sense and it's dumb. Seth Rollins fought the whole entire Mania 40 run to topple Roman Reigns' tyranny and him doing these factions just to go back and start a faction. None of it makes any sense. Then you fast forward to this year, we have a situation where Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed have not been elevated at all inside of this faction. Why would they sit in subservience in a faction to Seth Rollins when they can go fight for an IC title or a world title themselves? You get what I mean? Why would you do that? You can't say Braun Breaker's a future of WrestleMania, but he's sitting as a jobber to Seth Rollins. It's not furthering anything. It makes no sense. The promos are usually boring. The storylines have gone nowhere. They've done nothing of note that's been great all summer, basically all year at this point. It's a trash faction and everyone knows it. The viewership and ratings will tell you that, okay? So it's as simple as that. And in the midst of all of this, we have multiple other issues. Number one, obviously, we have to bring up the fact that before the main event of Clash in Paris and that world title fatal 4-way, Seth Rollins literally said he doesn't need the Vision. He never needed the Vision. And therefore, if he can't, retain the belt himself, then he shouldn't have it. He said all those things about the Vision and proceeded to not show up for them at all, not say anything about Paul Heyman being injured by his greatest foe, Roman Reigns, and just moved on completely. But I guess we throw out all that storytelling and now they're back together, good as new. Yeah! Everything is awesome! What are we doing at this point, man? Nothing follows through with Triple Fraud's booking. It makes no sense for this faction to still be here for a multitude of reasons. On top of that, why did Brock Lesnar attack John Cena? We have no reasoning. We have no answers. We have no storyline here. You can try and say, oh, the story writes itself. Well, they've written the same story already in the past, so why are we seeing it again then? There has to be a new reason, some type of creative reason why this is happening. We can't just do on the nose, it's Cena's last run, let's force Lesnar in for a cheap shock value moment. That's not gonna work, man. John Cena deserves better than that, man. He deserves a better and more deeper layered final story than this, and everyone knows it at this point. It's embarrassing. Now, let's move on from this. We then got a women's tag match with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. You know what I'm saying? Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair obviously pick up the dub over the Secret Harvest with Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. This is pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, Chelsea Green and Alba Fire were not going to win this match, so that's that. Nothing really to say about the match here. It was decent for what it was, but nothing really too special. I guess Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss will hold these titles until maybe Rhea and someone else teams up or something like that. I could see Rhea Ripley and Nikki Bella maybe having a tag team and they topple them down, or maybe it's Rhea and Io in a couple months after they fight against Asuka and Kairi Sane. You never know what could happen with that, but that's the situation with the women's tag team.
No, I think the Bella Twins are going to get back together. That's what I think.
Then we basically have the Vision fight against Fraxium. Nobody cares. Brunson Reed and Braun Breaker absolutely destroy these dudes, these absolute jobbers who are a great NXT tag team. Now on the main roster, I think they've had like 4 or 5 matches in like 6 months and have lost every single one of them at this point. So that's that. Then Nia Jax comes out and says a whole lot of nothing. I do appreciate the fact that she tried to show some charisma here. She had a couple funny lines, basically making fun of how annoying Tiffany Stratton is and how Jade Cargill should trade in, you know what I'm saying, her wrestling skills because they suck. There was a couple really decent moments in here. I kind of enjoyed it. Nia's not awful on the mic, but she's obviously not good either. There's some polishing that needs to happen, but I'd rather listen to this promo than a Tiffany Stratton promo.
Well, at least they let her talk, because most of the times they cut her off.
Apparently, Tiffany Stratton was supposed to have a triple threat with Jade and Nia tomorrow at WrestlePalooza, but eventually it got canceled because Tiffany Stratton got hurt. So now we're paying $30+ for 5 matches tomorrow. Anyways, we then move on from this promo. Really nothing came from this other than the fact that we're going to get a Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Jade Cargill triple threat for the WWE Women's Championship next week on SmackDown. I do believe that this championship is going to change hands. I think Nia or Jade is going to get that W. So we'll talk about that next week, of course. Then we get Carmelo Hayes versus Samuel Zayn. This match was actually really good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining, except for the finish. The Miz was on commentary the whole time because Corey Graves got written off earlier. And I got to say, this match was entertaining. You know what I'm saying? It had good athleticism, good selling. It had a bunch of cool move sets, obviously, some decent false finishes. Even though we knew Sammy was going to win, there was a little bit of drama because a part of you thought, hey, maybe Carmelo has a chance. You know what I'm saying? It is Carmelo Hayes. He's been fighting for this title, it feels like now, for a year and a half. And he's finally featured on TV doing something of meaning. So I hope that he would win this match, but obviously I knew he wasn't going to. Sami Zayn gets the win off of an awkward standing still haluva kick into a blue thunder bomb and just pins him clean in the middle of the ring. Very odd way to win the match. I would have had Carmelo Hayes probably, lose this match as well, to be honest, because I think Carmelo Hayes will try again for this championship maybe in a month or two, and I think that's when he will eventually win it. You get what I mean? Or it would be sick if tomorrow during the WrestlePalooza show, they just add on Carmelo Hayes versus Sami Zayn, in the middle of the show after a trash talk segment. That would actually be creative and interesting and unique, and it would feed into the best of 7 gimmick that Melo has, man. I think that would be pretty cool, but we'll see what happens with that. Sami Zayn retains the belt, but this was a pretty good and entertaining match. And there was a couple of backstage segments with Damian Priest throwing Kit Wilson through a wall backstage or something like that. And then we got to the main event, I'm pretty sure, with with Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre's contract signing. Gotta give a shout out to Drew McIntyre reposting this video on Twitter that people have been posting around all week, saying that this guy, I think this is Dean Withers or something like that, some guy who posts TikToks or whatever, and he was basically talking about, I don't know what this guy was talking about in the clip, but he's basically kind of going like, I have respect for you, I have love for you, and the way he sounds in the clip, it sounds exactly like Codarius Rodington. So that was pretty funny. Drew reposted that and said a sneak peek of Cody's promo tonight, and it kind of felt like a full circle moment. You know what I'm saying? Finally, people are calling out the respecty hero promos that Cody Rhodes has been cutting for 2 years, it feels like. Now, as for the actual contract signing, pretty much nothing of note happened here. Codarius Rodington basically got on the mic and told Drew McIntyre that, simply, you've been, instead of a Scottish warrior, you've been a keyboard warrior recently, okay? He reminisces on the fact that they won tag team championships together like 15 years ago or something like that, and then basically says tomorrow your legacy will be that on the first WWE ESPN show, you got beat by Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre then calls Cody a corporate champion and basically says that after all the damage Drew did to him, Cody's now here talking his head off and says that the fans will eventually move on from you and get tired of you and they'll move on to a new flavor of the month. He then signs the contract, they brawl a little bit, and Drew McIntyre beats him up on the outside of the ring, gets the upper hand, and stands tall. I'm hoping that this means that, even though they stay, Drew McIntyre stood tall, that means that people are going to be expecting Cody to win. Maybe they actually have Drew, win the championship tomorrow. I did see The Rock promote WrestlePalooza on his Instagram today, so maybe The Rock will show up tomorrow and reveal Drew as his new champion. You know what I'm saying? The new corporate champion for The Rock. You get what I mean? That'd be a cool story and a pretty cool way to end the show tomorrow and actually turn some heads and actually tell a good story with someone who's actually capable of doing so in Drew McIntyre. So with that being said, I can't stop thinking about Punk, and I can't stop thinking about Randy, and I can't stop thinking about Cody. So thank you guys for watching. Have a phenomenal day. I'll see you guys for WrestlePalooza tomorrow night. One love. Peace out. Forgot the order of it. We're going to run this back like Jey Uso. One more time. Ooh, have a great day. Have a phenomenal day. Peace out and one love.
All right, y'all. I got to know. Which one of y'all watching? Or y'all watching both? Let me know, man. WrestlePalooza or AEW All Out? I rock with AEW heavy. Of course, I rock with WWE, but I'm not extremely excited for AEW's All Out card because Kyle Fletcher, my dog, I love Kyle Fletcher. He the future AEW, but having a match against Hangman for both of them, I don't like stuff like AEW got this thing, and I made this. This is probably my only issue with AEW right now. Is like why everybody either going after double belts or has double belts, and I'm not talking about Mercedes Moné. She has one belt in AEW, one belt in AEW. Those other belts from other promotions, but like even Okada unified the belt. He was still walking out with 3 belts. Fucking what's that motherfucking name? The Bandito got 2 belts. Dustin Rhodes had 3 belts. Like why everybody gotta have multiple? I don't like shit like that. So that might be like I'm not excited for that. And if Toni Storm loses in a multi-person match, like I'm not really like I think whoever beat Toni Storm it should be a 1-on-1 because they'll automatically be elevated for the WWE. And a lot of the matches. First of all, I'm happy it's a lot more matches than normal, and it WrestlePalooza feels like a big WWE event, like they actually going all out, having multiple matches, and the card is pretty decent for sure. You know, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar is supposed to open the show, which is a wild way to start off the show. The Usos tagging, you know, I want to see that for sure. You get to see AJ Lee in her first match since coming back, so it's a lot of good things, but I'm gonna definitely try to watch both, obviously, right? Obviously, I'm gonna try to watch both. But if I had to choose, I might go with WrestlePalooza, just because like the card is crazy, and you know they're gonna pull out all the stops because it's the first pay-per-view on ESPN. But yeah, man, I just want to know what y'all think, though, man. You know what I'm saying? I had to get studious for y'all so we can talk about this important conversation. So y'all let me know in the comment section down below what y'all think. YouTube, Black Couch Booking.
All right, we need to talk before I go to bed. And when this video come out, it's going to be on the day of All Out at WrestlePalooza. But I just want to respond back to this video because I think BCB is looking at this PLE the wrong way. He say he's not impressed with the card. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't see anything that's not impressive about this card. But that's his opinion. But I just want to respond to his explanation. So, first things first, he said that, He said that, you know, 2 champions should not be facing each other for, you know, one of the belts to become double champion, which I agree with that. However, I don't think Kyle Fletcher is going to be the new AEW world champion. I understand that some people are worried because they feel like AEW has this repetitive cycle where people become double, triple champions and all that. Okay, well, here's the thing. Kyle has just won the TNT title. That's for one. Number 2, Adam Page just won the AEW world title. I think he won it around July. So it's like, again, Kyle just won it like last month. So it's like he won the TNT title last month. So it's like, how many times do I have to tell y'all that the AEW y'all saw back then is not the AEW you see now? Okay, things are different now. All right, and we're starting fresh. All right, I have not seen AEW back in those times. But yes, I have seen wrestlers with multiple belts, like the Bang Bang Gang. But however, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen, okay? People thought Mercedes was going to win it all in, and guess what? She didn't win, so there you go, all right? You guys got to stop thinking that we're going to get those things when we know that everything is unpredictable with AEW, all right? Now, some things could be predictable when it comes down to Mercedes and Tony, but the thing is, I do have faith that Tony is going to lose the belt. But that's why I say unpredictable, because I just found out that people are predicting that Tony is going to face Jamie Hayter on the next PLE. And if that happens, then I understand. So that leads to the third point. But to respond to his first point, like I said, I don't think Kyle Fletcher is going to become AEW World Title. It's too early. He has to defend his TNT title first. He has to defend at least about 3-4 times in order for him to get that belt. And until he does that, I don't think he's going to win the belt. Okay? People don't want to see Adam Page lose the belt that quickly. Okay? The man has to defend it a little for, like, I think I'll give it maybe November at least. You know what I mean? So that way he can get his run. And then the next person that gets the belt, they can get their run too. Okay? And if it ends up being Kyle, then fine. But we need to get him to defend that TNT title first before he ever becomes world champion. And until that happens, he should not be getting that title, and I don't think he will. So don't worry about that. But let's get to another point. Then he mentioned this, right? He's saying that this match should have been a one-on-one match. I understand his point. You know, because he feels like if it was a one-on-one match that one of these ladies would have been elevated, all that. But either way, the women are going to be elevated regardless. You know, I think that Jamie Hayter might be the one to go after the belt if Tony retains, because people want to see Tony versus Jeremy. Because if you guys don't know, Jamie Hayter was injured when she had her match with Toni Storm. So that's why, you know, she wants her lick back and she wants a rematch. So if that ends up happening, then maybe the title will change hands and the title will go to Jamie Hayter, which is good for her because this can make up the injury, and I think that can tell a story. But you need to watch out for Thekla because she might go after that belt too. Okay, because you two still got beef. So if you two start brawling over that title and all that, you got to get through her as well. Maybe they could do a number one contender match where, you know, if Jamie Hayter wins, right, and go against Toni Storm in the next PLE. And if that happens, now we're talking. You know what I mean? So if that happens, then I'll be okay with it if that's the plan. But if the plan is just for Toni to win and then she just do what she been doing, just tag teaming with bitches and all that, no, that ain't going to work. Okay, you got to tell a story for Toni, all right? And if that story comes back where, you know, that's the story behind Jamie Hayter and Toni, then let it be known. But other than that, I still would love it if you would pass that belt to Chris Stanlander because it would tell the Death Rider story. But some people feel like she could tell the story without the belt. Like, okay, I could see something like this, right? Chris don't win. She feels like a sore loser. Here comes Willer. And here comes John. They start talking to her and give her some encouragement to the point where maybe joining the Death Riders ain't so bad. I can actually gain momentum just by being with them. And then next thing you know, it'll be Rhea joining. It'll be like Rhea Rebbe joining the Judgment Day when Edge was the leader and all that. I think that can elevate her career even further. And then she'll be the next Rhea Rebbe. Think about it. Can you imagine if she used Willer as Dominic Mysterio and she be the Rhea Rebbe in AEW? That could bring her stock up. And then at that point, people are going to have to look at Chris because they see there's some comparison. And FYI, she is an emo. You just don't see her because she looks plain. But other than that, she listens to rock music. She fuck with punk bands. You know what I'm saying? So that's that. You know, you just don't see it. Because you look at Sky Blue and say, oh, that's emo. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, like, Chris Stanlander has a chance to go after the gold. But the only way she can go after it is if she joined the Death Riders. So if she want to win gold, got to have Willer and some of the people that are willing to join with you. Like, yeah, I don't know why Marlena feel like she got to be around Willer all the time, but if that's your crew, then think of it this, right? Chris Stanlander as Rhea Rebbe, Willer as Dominic Mysterio, and Marina as Marina as Zyra. Think about it. That's a trio right there, right? 2 emos and 1 Latino. But in this sake, you got 2 white women teaming up with, I don't know his race. I assume he's Arabic. But other than that, to me, that's a great combination. So there you have that. And then as for Thekla, I think Thekla is going to probably be in a number one contender match with Jamie Hayter. And whoever wins gets to face Tony one more time, and this time we'll get a one-on-one. So if BCB is worried about a one-on-one match, we'll probably get that if Tony retains. But I still think this is a great idea because to put these three women on in the main event scene, again, that's better because Thekla used to be in 0 Hour and along with Chris Stanlander. But either way, man, this is good for the ladies, and I can't wait to see what's next for them after this match. But I hope Thekla go after the TBS title. But I guess she got to deal with her beef with Jamie Hayter first before that comes, and I'm looking forward to it. So, again, if he only spoke on 2 matches, there's no need because there's other matches to talk about. And since he hasn't talked about the rest of them, and I have, seems to me like, it seems to me like who's consistent and who's not. And that's just where we at. No diss, just saying that I've been talking and I've been looking into it and I've been investing into it. And honestly, I'm glad I'm still doing reaction videos because honestly, nothing feels good than to see 2 women brawling. and those women was Queen Emanata and Thekla. Great match, great chemistry. Glad that the beef with those 2 settled with that. And honestly, both of them did a great job. And I hope this continue to where they both can continue to be on Dynamite to where they can get over with the crowd because Dynamite is like the Monday Night Raw in AEW and Collision is like the Friday Night Smackdown in AEW. So it's great to see them on Dynamite. I can't wait to see them do more. Even though it wasn't really Dynamite, it was more like Santana and Remember it was a special episode. Still, it's great to see those ladies on there and they did a good job. So y'all go check out that reaction video, right? But other than that, man, ain't nothing to worry about. I still think that Chris Stanlander should win. But if Tony Storm wins, I assume it's because they want to see Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm. But I figured, can they just do it without the belt? I mean, they could still beef without the belt. But then again, some people do want to see that remake because, like I said, Jamie Hayter got injured. So that's why they want to see it. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, listen, if that's the plan, I'm all for it. Even though I won't be excited about it because I want to see Chris Stanlander with the belt, I know her time will come once she joined the group. So when that happens, I'm looking forward to it. But we'll see what happens in the Fatal 4-Way match. But I did say if Chris Stanlander don't win, then I'm going with Io Sky versus Stephanie Vakir. But after getting the understanding of why Tony Storm might retain, I think I'm still going to go with the Fatal 4-Way. But if Stephanie Vakir wins, I'll give it a tie. How about that? I'll give it a tie. So the Fatal 4-Way match, the only 2 people I could see winning is Chris Stanlander or Tony Storm. Everyone else have to wait, right? So Tony wins, we'll get Jeremy Hayter one-on-one. If Chris Stanlander wins, we get the beginning storytelling of the Death Riders, her joining the group. So there you have that. Other than that, man, I'm only looking forward to 2 matches, like I said, in WrestlePalooza, and that's Io Sky versus Stephanie Vakir in the mixed tag team match. And I think the mixed tag team match will be the main event, unless, of course, Cody and Drew be the main event. And I think it's mainly because, people thinking the title's going to change hands where Drew is going to take the belt. And if that happens, good for him and good for the show and good for the ratings, right? So I still think WrestlePalooza might be sloppy, but I know those 2 matches are not going to be sloppy, okay? If you could promise not to end the match with a DQ or count out, for the Stephanie versus Io Sky match, I can, give it an A+ or give it a B, But other than that, AEW is going to get an A regardless. But those 2 matches I just mentioned in WrestlePalooza, I expect a B plus. So not expect an A, but I'm definitely expecting a B. So we'll see how it goes. But y'all get in the comment box and make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new. Comment down below. Let me know which PLE you're looking forward to. Are you looking forward to WrestlePalooza or are you looking forward to AEW All Out? And FYI, if you are looking forward to WrestlePalooza, make sure you guys do it for free. Don't watch it where you got to pay $30. All right? I mean, hey, I had to pay some money to watch All Out, and honestly, even though I don't like the price, it's worth the pay, okay? It's worth the pay, and honestly, it is what it is on my end. I know I can get that money back. No big deal. But I will tell you this, though. If y'all willing to watch WrestlePalooza, like I said, watch it with your friends and family. Do not watch it by yourself. Do not pay anything if you don't got the pockets, okay? If you don't got the money for ESPN, if you haven't already subscribed to ESPN, then most likely you're better off watching it for free because you don't want to watch something that's going to take up most of your pay. So it's just something to think about, all right? But y'all get in the comment box and let me know which PLE you're looking forward to. Again, in the comment box, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new. And I will be waiting for you guys to pull up at the live stream tomorrow at 2 o'clock for All Out. And trust me, we're going all out, okay? We're going all out. So get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share if you're new. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow, all right? We're going all out. Let's get it.